So if I had to start from zero, what would I do? This video, I kind of want to make it as if I'm talking to my 20-year-old self. I'm 31 right now, and I'm barely just now saving my first $10,000. I hit my $10,000 saving goal, but now I want to talk to myself or talk to you and tell you what I would do differently and how I would get to that $10,000 faster, or how I would probably get to $100,000 or even higher amount of savings faster if I had did some things differently. So if I had to start from zero all the way over, and I was all the way back like 20 years old or like 18, just getting out of high school, what would I do differently? So one, I would save all the money that I had got from graduation. Yes, I know that when you're that young, you would want to just, buy some shoes, buy an Xbox, whatever it may be. But if you can hold off of that instant gratification or that reward feeling, then I would save whatever money that you got from graduation. So sometimes, I think I got like $800 from all the different people that came to my graduation. So I would save that $800. Two, I would immediately open up a bank account with Goldman Sachs or some type of high yield savings account, at least 4%. And I would put that $800 into that high yield savings account. I would also get a job. I'll probably just get a part-time job and then make it into full-time at like a grocery store, a fast food restaurant, something of that nature. But I would also be looking into trades. I'll be looking into like welding or painting, something like that. That way I have a skill besides the customer service skills that I'm building up, at the restaurant or the grocery store. Or I'd probably be a server too if I was working a part-time job, because servers make good money with tips and you learn how to talk to people. You learn a lot of patience by dealing with a lot of different types of people. I would take some type of free public speaking class. If you're not good with public speaking already, I would learn how to talk to people. You would probably learn that with the job, but I think taking a public speaking class or doing some type of community thing where you're interacting with people, that would be a good idea too. So after I save the $800, open a bank account, get a job, at my job, while I'm earning that money, I would save at least 10% of all the money that I make. Because one, it's going to get me into a good habit of saving my money. Two, it is building my storehouse, meaning it's building my funds in front of my face. So I'm always paying myself first. I'm not buying anything else. I'm not spending money on anybody else's dream or business. I'm putting that money back into me first. Three, I would exercise, and I would get into a good habit of doing some type of gratitude journaling or meditation. And I would make sure that I do that in the morning or at night or like in the middle of the day. Really just take some time to reflect and to write down my goals. I would also, like I said, I would look into some type of skill, build that up, eventually try to move into that full time. And I would also have a YouTube channel. I would start a YouTube channel pretty much about anything, but I would just find a niche that aligns with, something I like to do, whether that's drawing, cooking, working out, talking about anime, whatever it may be. But I would start a YouTube channel and I would get really consistent with it. I would start posting at least one video a week. I would write down in my journal 52 video ideas for the whole year. So that way I have at least one video for the week. And then I would start posting one video a week on YouTube, because that would be another good source of side income. So as I'm saving 10% of all my money, I'm putting that money into the high yield savings account. I would also do research about Bitcoin. and I would start investing into Bitcoin. I would read the Bitcoin white paper, and I would understand how Bitcoin is different than fiat currency, and I would understand the benefits of Bitcoin, how it's a scarce store of value. There's only 21 million units of Bitcoin, and they can be broken down into 100 more units called Satoshis, 100 million units called Satoshis. And I would understand how over time the money of the world is going to be going into Bitcoin. You know, that Bitcoin is pretty much unhackable, it's secure, it's decentralized. It allows me to send money from one person to the other person, and I would start putting money into Bitcoin. After I save, this money, put it into Bitcoin, put it into my high yield savings account, I would build up that savings account to at least $3,000 in cash, and then I would start saving that $10,000 that I saved now back then, but I would save it and I would put it into Bitcoin, and I would put it into stocks. I would put a small portion into stocks, into the Vanguard index fund, or the VOO, or the S&P 500, because that way I would be investing into the top companies in the United States or the world, and I would be diversifying my portfolio, so that way I have a higher chance of having some returns. And I would take that money, and over the years I would reinvest the money, and then I would allow compound interest to take effect. I would still get a car, I would still have a car, and I would probably stay single. I would probably stay single and not have a girlfriend. I may date, but I would not be in a committed relationship, and I would focus a lot of my time on myself. And I would I would give all my money to myself, and not worry about trying to take care of somebody else until I take care of myself. I would take care of my mom. I would pay her back, or I would, make sure I take care of my mom for taking care of me in my life. I would spend time with my family, and I would network. I would go to different conferences and retreats, and form some type of bond with a mentor, so that way they can guide me in the right way. I would find my mentor, Matthew David Hurtado, and I would go to the course, the Spiritual Millionaires Retreat, and I would become a healer, and I would learn how to meditate, do hypnosis, and I would make my own binaural beats, and I would put them on my YouTube channel, and I would make a website with an email list, so that when people go to my website, they get they can sign up for emails, and they can get some free meditations on how to make money and how to become wealthy, and how to heal yourself, how to release guilt, shame, and unforgiveness, and doubt, and things like that. And I would continue my fitness journey, doing different things as far as my health, my diet, making sure I'm eating right, drinking enough water, learning new skills like how to do handstands, how to do backflips, pull-ups, things like that, things that I like to have fun with, skateboarding, make sure I'm staying healthy with like that. I would read books. I would make sure that I invest into books and read Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Alchemist, The Richest Man in Babylon. I would read the Bible. I would read the Buddhist teachings. I'd read the Quran. I'd read the Hebrew translation of the Bible. I would get into many different religions' teachings to understand how different religions and cultures do different things. I would network, like I was saying. I would go to different conferences. I would go to VidCon. I'd go to Comic-Con, and I would make friends all over the United States, and I would go into chat groups and forums and make friends with people all over the world. Because I believe the more friends you have, the more resources you have, the more people that love and trust you, then the more people that can give you opportunities like to take care of you, or like give you a place to stay, feed you if you're hungry, let you stay in their couch while you're traveling, things like that. I would do that, all that things. I would do that for at least 10 years, and I would have a goal to save $10,000 a year, and then get to $100,000. So that by the time I'm 30, where I'm at right now, I would already have $100,000 saved. And then at this point, when I have $100,000 saved, or like in stocks and Bitcoin and all that, I would start a business. You could start this business earlier. I would probably start it earlier, but after I have a lot of capital under my belt, I would start buying 3D printers, or I would start a painting business, or I would start a jewelry business. I would start some type of business, where I can provide people a service or a product, most likely a product. And I would start writing a book. I would start writing a book and documenting everything that I've been doing, so I can share with other people what worked for me or what didn't work for me. And I would do this for, like I said, the 10 years, to be building up to that 100K. So that way I can invest that 100K, put it into that business, and then the next goal would be $1 million. Sorry, I gotta see where I'm supposed to get off. But yeah, what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't smoke as much as I did. I wouldn't smoke weed or cigarettes or anything like that. If I did partake in marijuana, I would do edibles. I would leave the smoking alone as much. I wouldn't drink. I wouldn't drink alcohol, only on special occasions. I wouldn't get drunk. I would only, have a few beers, or if I get drunk, it would be at like a special occasion for like somebody's wedding or a birthday or New Year's, something like that. But I would do it rarely. Like I said, I would stay single. I wouldn't be dating. I probably wouldn't even really be having that much sex. I would stay to myself and not try to have so many people in my circle. I would keep my circle small. I wouldn't have too many friends. Only people that really like me and love me, and that actually care about me, and that reach out and see how I'm doing. I wouldn't be the one reaching out every single time. I would look for those people that are interested in me and want to see me be successful. I'd probably get therapy. I would make sure that I'm okay mentally, emotionally, and always, physically as well. I would go to physical therapy. I would get massages. I would go to the chiropractor. I would probably try to reach out to my dad and try to reconcile anything that was unsaid between us. I would try to let some of those emotional traumas go that I have with him. I wouldn't have went through so many traumas by staying single, so I would have, been able to come into my full self-awareness a lot sooner. I would grow my hair out. I would have locks. I would learn how to work on cars. I would learn how to work on my car. I would gain the skills on how to change my own oil, change my tire, change your filters, know what type of engine I have, change my brakes, just in case anything happens. I would try to develop some type of survival skills, learning how to fish, learning how to start a fire, um, be just more self-sufficient. I would do research on what it takes to buy land, how much it costs to build a house. I would learn how the sewer, plumbing, electricity, gas all runs to a house. I would learn about trailers and campers, like pretty much living in a camper and trailer, learning how that type of lifestyle might be. I would learn about growing my own vegetables and growing my own food, and bees, freaking bees. I love bees. I would learn about how to harvest honey. I would learn how to filter my own water so I can have distilled water. I would learn about minerals. I would play instruments like guitar and flute, because I feel like you should learn music, because music's like another language and it opens up creativity, and it also just makes you happy. It's just a place you can go to where you can relax in your mind and in yourself. And when you play the guitar or the flute or something, it's a way to express yourself. I would get better at art, like drawing and painting, graphic design, digital design. I would be doing all this over the years, though. I wouldn't stress myself out by trying to do everything at once. I would do everything day by day. But yeah, I would stretch. I would get really flexible. I would make sure that my back, my spine, my posture is right. I would look at anything that's wrong in my body and try to improve it. I would try to improve my eyesight. Make sure I take care of my teeth, my dental health. Make sure you're brushing your teeth and flossing, getting checkups regularly at the doctor. And I may not listen to exactly what the doctor's saying to do as far as medication and stuff, but I would listen just to get a read on where I'm at in my physical health. Like I said, I would spend a lot of time with my family, and I would have goals to try to get my great nephew and my nephews and nieces on the same path that I'm on. I would try to start businesses with them. Like my niece right now, she makes treats, and I would make treats with her. I would make sure I help my mom to clear out our house, because we moved from Arizona and we had a 3-bedroom house, and we're moved into an apartment, and we moved into another house right now, and we still have all these boxes here. So I would donate a lot to Goodwill, and I would sell a lot of items on eBay. I would really downsize and minimalize my life. I wouldn't have so many clothes and so many things. So if it was, time for me to move, then I could. I honestly probably would just stay with my mom and stay with her for those 10 years and not date. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think that it's necessary to leave your house so soon. If your family is allowing you to stay with you or stay with them, stay with them. But if you are able to buy a property, in that time when I saved that $100,000, I probably would just buy a property and buy my first home, and either me and my mom all and my whoever else wants to stay in the house, we can all stay in the house together and pay it off faster. And then I would rent that house out to somebody else, and I would buy another house, and that's how I would do real estate. I would buy one property, pay it off, have somebody stay in it, buy another property, and then do that over and over again until I have 10 properties in my disposal, possibly in different states. And oh yeah, I would get very financial literate as far as like taxes and like tax write-offs, um, understanding accounting, like where all the money is going and what everything is supposed to be for. Um, I would have a really good understanding of checks and balances. I would use Microsoft Excel, and I would get good at statistics and just estimating how much something is going to grow in the future. I would use AI and ChatGPT, and I would use it to help me to organize my life better. Yeah, that's probably what I would do if I had to start from zero and I was like 20 years old again. And those are probably like all the things that I would start. That's like a start that I would do. Um, but yeah, I would think about this more, and I'll tell you guys anything else that will come to my mind. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.